neighbour, because you haven't. You've just got to do your best, and we judge you on your performance, not on how the other students perform. Okay? So, first start using more skill. Okay? So now you go up a gear, and the next 6 months will be a test for you, of course, but I have no worries that with what you've done so far, you'll be able to cope with the next stage of the practical work. Okay? I haven't had a look at your theory work yet. You're designing and pattern cutting and some of the management subjects you've done there. I haven't looked at those papers yet. I'll do that probably this afternoon, if not tomorrow morning. And I'll meet you again before I go back to talk to you about life in the Institute. Any problems you have, we can discuss them privately at the meeting tomorrow, okay? Will you take a roll call now? I want everyone that's here now to be here this afternoon and also tomorrow. No excuses, no one to be absent, okay? You only see me once in 6 months. I expect you to be here to answer questions or ask me questions. Okay? So take a roll call now.
Roll number 1,
Yes, sir.
2,
Yes, sir.
3,
Yes, sir.
4,
Yes, sir.
6,
Yes, sir.
7,
Yes, sir.
8.
Yes, sir.
We've had 100% attendance. So well done for that. It's good. And I'll see you, if not later on this afternoon, I'll see you tomorrow morning, okay? But take credit for what you've done here. It's a good start, okay? Fine. See you later.
tell the students, every time I come here, I always learn last night. And I must admit, they mentioned a number of machines I'd never heard of before, and it was explained what the machine...
As well as in my science, which is the management.
Yes.
Even in management, the concepts change.
Yes, of course, having computers is helping all that, you know, because obviously they're able...
Dictionary by the side. So you must always learn from it. There is a company in Japan.
Here this is senior people.
Ceremony for 15th batch. Unfortunately, we have very less boys ready for 15th batch, but it's good to see the boys after a long time, all are well engaged. And Mathur, chairman of Allu Fashions, our moderators are as usual with us to bless us. So I'll start the program. First of all, I'll request Mr. Chaudhary to welcome our chief guest and Mr. Mathur and moderators are also. Before this, we have decided to award the certificate for the students who are going to complete it. But in the beginning of the program, I'll request Mr. Peter Radcliffe to say a few words in the beginning of the program. So I request Mr. Peter to come here.
This week, I think. It's nice to see some of the graduating students from last September here. Good to see you again, boys. And any girls? Just no. Very. You're welcome, very welcome. Thank you for making the effort to come in. We understand it's very difficult to release yourselves from your jobs to come here. But it's still important for us to be able to present the diplomas to some of the successful students. And please, if you run into the rest of your colleagues at some stage, pass on my best regards to them, please. The moderation has just been completed. As you all know, I've come away a happy man. The standards that CFTI Chennai continue to set for themselves every year. So well done to you all for another Herculean effort, because it's very difficult. Every year goes by, the standards rise, which means that the target for next year's group gets up. The links between Leicester College, which sponsors me, and the Textile Institute, which engages Leicester College to conduct these moderations, is now 16 years old. So these moderations have been going on, that I've certainly come across around the world. Your equipment is second to none, and it's constantly being updated with new equipment being added to make sure that you, the students, are getting a chance to see how modern machinery can impact on shoemaking. It's very interesting that two of your faculties had the opportunity to go to Italy last November, get the opportunity to see the report, because in it is a lot of indicators of what the Italians have had to do to try and compete with the world when it comes to shoe design. But on production, Western world. And at the moment, the world is worried about how they compete with you. But I anticipate within the next 10 years there's going to be a swing. Because if other developed, more developed countries, should I say, can take up the ideas that the Italians have adopted to survive, and can take those same ideas and use technology rather than masses of pairs of hands to make competitive shoes, then you are going to be under pressure, because they will, priority number one, buy locally if they can. So any of the European nations that can compete with yourselves, and the Chinese particularly, like for like, they will buy from the local factories rather than from yourselves. So at the moment, the Indian factories have got an easy option because you are more competitive, like in 10 years' time. So be aware of the technology that's available every year, improve the competitiveness of these developed nations. Okay, enough of that. I think the next stage of the ceremony is the presentation of diplomas. Is that correct? Okay, so let's hand it back to Mr. Puri, and he'll give you the next later on in the year when you've completed your first or final year, whichever group you're in. Okay, thank you.
We have very few students available today to receive their diplomas, but it's nice to see the boys who are available today to receive their diplomas. They are well engaged in factories, working hard, and the report from the factory is also excellent from your honors, which I should not disclose, but thanks for working hard there and bringing the name of the institute up. We will start the ceremony for which we gathered today. It's a diploma distribution ceremony, and I'll call the name one by one. You can come and receive your diplomas from our chief guest and our moderator. Touch. The three best students selected by our moderator to come and take their certificates. Kapil Bansal. Pradeep Jain.